the show was such a hit for so long. And it really kind of put HBO on the map again, really, at the time. It was before Game of Thrones. It was before it just became this instant hit for pretty much everybody. Generationally, it didn't matter who was watching it. People seemed to enjoy it. And what was that like for you? You've been acting your whole life.
Right.
You know, I watched you in Rocky V and up to this point, and now it's you guys are the talk of every talk show on the cover of every magazine, and it's the biggest hit in America.
Yeah, and you know, for people that know anything about like the television business, you do a pilot, right? So it starts with one episode, and I've done a bunch of pilots before, right? So you don't. I don't know. It's not that I didn't think the pilot was good, but you learn to manage your expectations, right? I've done some excellent pilots that never saw the light of day. So the show got picked up, but you know, and I think the experience was different for everybody, but certainly for me, the show aired on a Sunday night, and my life was never the same. Like starting the next morning when I woke up, which was really kind of bizarre. Kind of like it just happened. Yeah, it's kind of like being drafted in the NFL draft. Right. I mean, it just boom. Your life changes forever. Yeah. Everybody knows who you are. Everybody thinks you're a multimillionaire immediately. That's true too. Yeah, exactly. But the other part about it is like TJ will tell you, like I was running around, so I was around town anyway. So it kind of, for me, the hardest part was, you know, like I always said, there's nothing worse than getting chased by paparazzi that aren't trying to take a picture of you, right? Like running from paparazzi, like I would always be part of the getaway where they're not chasing you, and then all of a sudden you are kind of in that, and it took a little adjusting for me.
It was incredibly hard to adjust to that. I remember walking out of the house that I rented in San Diego, and there's a news van with a satellite dish on it parked at the bottom, and they were just following me around wherever I went. How do you prepare for something like this? At least you'd been in the business a bit during your whole life.
But, you know, remember, this was like at the crack of the God, we're dating ourselves here. The crack of the internet, yes. Really. I can remember one night I walked out of somewhere. I don't know. I was probably we were probably together somewhere. I walked out of this place, and there was a guy with a camera, and I was joking with him. I said something, and then the next morning I start getting these calls. I'm like, what is this? They're like, oh, you're on this website. You got to check it out. It's called TMZ.
Yeah.
It was the first time I ever heard TMZ. It was like, and now it's, you know, obviously TMZ has become this whatever, but you know, remember, this is like Twitter or Instagram. This all happened while we were on the show.
Kev, remember they used to have Hollywood Uncensored first,
right?
Before, and then that kind of transitioned into
Celebrities
Uncensored. Yeah,
how mad was that guy when Harvey turned around? But yeah, so all that stuff happened while we were on the show, so it was kind of strange. And truthfully, you know, some of these kids today, how they deal with it, I think that some of these people don't get the credit. Like, I don't know, to see like what a guy like Justin Bieber goes through. I mean, I don't know. I don't know that I would be built for that.
Well, I mean, he struggled with it too.
Yeah, but that's like so, the internet now is so next level and so crazy. I don't know, not for me.
You know, Ryan, I think that, you know, I was having a talk with some of my friends about this, and I think the difference is the kids today, they welcome that stuff. Like they want those cameras on. They want to be filmed in the club. You know, if we were back in Joseph's or AD back in the day, someone pulled out a phone, you know, Pantera Slayer would slap you in the head. But now it's like these influencers, they want that attention. So they want to be chased down the street. Where back in the day, guys like you it was like, nah, man, we're doing our thing. Back up, Woody, or whoever the camera guy was.
Yeah, back then probably for us it was more about picking your spots with it. Like there were moments where I didn't want anybody to see what was going on, but the narcissist in me still was like, hey, look at me. Why aren't you looking at me?
Right. What we talked about is like, you know, back in those days it was went.
Yep.
Right. If you heard that at the club, you got in trouble. You know, now these phones and how anybody can navigate through anything. It's just
you have to be on point at all times.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.